news, everyone?
All right. And of course, we get straight in, and things are just terrible. EA is going to be laying off around 670 workers, sunsetting games, moving away from future licensed IPs. Of course, because there will not be a day in the future right now where there are not people getting laid off, apparently. Can we have just one day? Nope. And there was more today. I don't know if you saw Tide. I mean, some like other ones. There was a bunch from today. There was like a whole bunch more. Tim Cham all over the galaxy at this point. I don't know what that means, Ron. I saw. Yeah, I don't get it, but I don't know. All right, so we'll start getting into this one, and this one has a couple other things that kind of definitely go with it. Oh, look at you over here. I see you out here, Title. You is
Smokin'.
Man, the 3-stream streak, my dude. Electronic Arts has announced that it too is undergoing mass layoffs, with plans to let go 5% of its total global staff, or roughly 670 individuals. In a note today sent to staff, CEO Andrew Wilson said that EA is reacting to accelerating industry transformation, where player needs and motivations changed significantly. Have changed significantly? I think that's just a mistype. I'm sorry. Crucially, EA also said that it is moving away from the development of future licensed IPs. EA currently has several confirmed Star Wars and Marvel games in development, including a third Jedi game, Black Panther, and Iron Man. We don't need you anymore. We got AI. I actually kind of felt like that a little bit too. When I see stuff like this, I'm a little like, is there a part of this that is just like, oh well, we can have AI do this job? Killing itself already. Yeah, listen, EA is not like one of those companies I'm like, oh, I'll go to bat for EA, but like, I mean, it's still sad that like people are losing their jobs for this though. So this is just part of it. There's like a couple of things that go along with this that I know all kind of go along. So part of EA is this Respawn Star Wars FPS, which is not going to be canceled. Today, EA announced a major company shakeup that will result in roughly a bunch of people. As part of the same reorganization, Respawn's Star Wars FPS in development at Respawn is being canceled. Yeah. Could do easily CEO. That's probably true, actually. I feel like robots could probably figure out how to run a company much better. We saw the trend go up when we didn't fire people. Don't do it. Yeah, I just, man, I don't know. It's crazy. So they said that this is a thing, right? And so that they're still going to be doing some other Jedi games or whatever. It's always hard to walk away from a project, and this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent, tenacity, or passion they have for the game. Giving fans the next installment of the iconic franchises they want is the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus. So their whole thing, I guess, is canceling games that don't have. They're trying to give sequels everything. They don't want to. They're not gonna. You're not getting no things unless it's a sequel or an already established thing. You know. Not a fan of EA touching Marvel properties. Do they have any Marvel games yet? Did you see EA also did 325 million in stock buybacks last quarter? I did not, but that does not surprise me. There was another company that did that, right? For 5 years. Man, that is crazy, dude. Not yet, but that's for the best. Yeah, but they're going to be, right? They're going to be doing Iron Man and Black Panther, which is crazy. Those are, I mean, Iron Man is like a pretty whatever, but like, I mean, if they fuck up Black Panther, people gonna be pissed. An open world Black Panther? What makes you think that EA is gonna make a good Black Panther? Is it just because of the Jedi franchise? Good Iron Man game would be cool. Listen, I'd be down with having a lot of games as long as they're good. I don't care what they are for the most part, as long as they're good. That's the problem is, you know, a lot of these companies struggle to make good ones. Yeah, fair. So part of this as well, I saw, was EA is shuttering Marcus Leto's Ridgeline Games with some moving to Ripple Effects to continue working on Battlefield. So EA is shuttering Ridgeline Games, the studio co-founded by former Halo developer Marcus Leto, that was tasked with developing the narrative campaign in the next Battlefield. The closure follows word of Leto's departure early this week and coincides with a broader restructuring announced earlier today that will see EA lay off some 670 employees. So yeah, this is it's not looking good for EA as a company at this point. Like, if I worked for EA, I would be like, what the fuck is happening? I would be so worried about my own job. Yeah, they may, Gaster. One of the best studios they have anymore, right? Listen, and I think a lot of places like that have like a dominant studio that's like just great. And I feel like Respawn is EA's or whatever, and they gotta be worried about not touching them. They just gotta let Respawn just do whatever they want. So yeah, I just saw this and I wanted to kind of put all three of these together because I think it pieces each part of the story together as a thing. So BioWare. Oh, interesting. What did BioWare make? I forget. The Old Republic. Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Yeah, I see a lot of this, the Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that too. So, so I got no attachment. That's fair though. And Anthem. I saw Anthem. I was not gonna mention Anthem. I was gonna let that one go. Awesome. We don't talk about bad games. Well, we do. All right, let's keep on going because it's another one right after this, but this one is a little less. I don't know this one as well. So, Life is Strange True Colors studio Deck 9 is laying off 20% of its staff. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and say this again, which is crazy. This is not the only set of layoffs that happens today. We have another one after this too. I think we have a little bit of a break in between, which is nice to not have to talk about it. But Deck 9, the studio behind Life is Strange, Entries, Before the Storm, and True Colors, as well as The Expanse, a Telltale series, laid off 20% of its staff today. The studio announced the news in a statement on Twitter today, writing, "Like many others in the game industry right now, Deck 9 has been affected by the game industry worsening market conditions. These people are amazing, talented, and awesome developers, the statement added. They have made a huge impact during their time at Deck 9 Games, and we did not take this decision lightly. Please hire these people if you can. They are amazing. Oh, wow. I think Insomniac is doing layoffs as well. Yeah, so Sony was doing a whole bunch of layoffs, and Insomniac was part of that. I was a little shocked. I was a little shooketh. I got a Wolverine game to make. Yeah, they'll be okay. I'm sure they'll be all right. But yeah, so I don't know Deck 9 that well, and they're kind of their claim to fame is some of the Life is Strange stuff, which I didn't really play. Wasn't really into any of the Life is Strange stuff, so that's whatever. As more layoffs occur, right? I do love that they threw that in there, like, please hire these people, because we're not like, oh, cool, sweet Deck 9. Like, I don't know. I guess it's like one of those weird things where I feel like it's hard to be like, well, you know what? If I always been like, if they stayed at Deck 9 and Deck 9 goes under, then they're gonna lose their job anyway. But I feel like, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't completely understand all of it, so I always am kind of just like, it sucks. And then, but I don't like this, like, please hire these people. Like, just don't say that. Come on, Deck 9, you know that's stupid. Indie devs, I mean, indie devs don't have to, you're right, they don't have to face some of the bigger studios and stuff. They don't have to make those budgets and do all that stuff, not as much at least, and they're definitely a little safer, but man, it doesn't feel like anybody's safe right now. So I'm gonna keep going, because let's get the layoff stuff behind us for a little bit, and I mean, like I said, we'll have a little bit, but some good news today too. I promise that we have some actual good news today too. And this is not one of them, but it's also not people getting laid off. So Pokemon Legends Z through A won't let players explore all of Kalos. I thought this was funny, mostly because of how shit on the Pokemon games have been getting because of Power World, and they were like, yeah, but like, listen, we're gonna make this game and it's gonna be super open, except it's not that open at all. Like, it's only in the one city and you can't go outside the other area to the rest of the region. Cool, guys, cool, but it's Pokemon, so you're totally gonna buy it. Like, bro, I don't want another fucking boring empty Pokemon game. I'm sorry. Oh no. Yeah, man, I'm not super stoked about the way that they're kind of talking about this already. Like, they're already having to be like, guys, it's just the city part of it. Like, the rest of it, no, for sure you're not getting out there. Pokemon Legends Z through A may return players to the Kalos region for the first time since 2013's Pokemon X and Y, but it won't let fans explore the entire region. Nintendo revealed Pokemon Legends Z through A is only set in Lumos City, the headlining location of Pokemon X and Y, based on the real-world Paris. Watch to see the reveal trailer, whatever. Yeah. Are more designed like Monster Hunter? Are they? I don't know anything about the Legends game. I just think that's funny because I think people were very much excited for it to be more open world. A massive area to explore. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were supposed to be kind of bigger areas. Jumping to conclusions. With which part, Title? What are you feeling? Because it definitely feels like I mean, I saw what they were showing. They were only showing the city, of course, or whatever. But I mean, I also get like, I think people were just excited. They were seeing like, Legends, like this is a way where they can go back to a game and enjoy you know, everything that they enjoyed about though. But it definitely seems like they're kind of like, oh, it's going to be a little bit less than they expected. There won't be enough to explore. I think there will definitely be enough to explore. I think they're going to make it very big and very expansive and whatever. I just think that people are very much like looking at Pokemon right now through their Pal World lenses, man. And I think that's kind of the problem. I think Game Freak needs to kind of step up and actually start to deliver. Because it's down development, right? Of course. I listen. This is not to shit on anything. It's just to make sure that I bring the news that I find, you know, and I gotta make sure you guys know. City was massive in X and Y, but it was scaled down. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's probably going to be fine. I think people were just they were thinking that they were going to be able to go out to the other parts of the city, and then, you know, and then they weren't able to, or they're probably not going to be able to. But we'll see. Like that, I think, you know, that all could change very, very quickly. I love Pokemon and care for its success. Yeah, I can't put that much stock in any one company or you know, product or anything. It's just, I enjoy Pokemon, or I have enjoyed Pokemon. I haven't enjoyed Pokemon in a long time, but I just know that they got some shortcomings that they need to start to address. And you know, you see it with Pal World and stuff. I keep on bringing it up, but that's kind of the game that's pushing them. So they're actually giving it an extra year. Maybe they realize that they do need to step up. I like I said, I just hope so. I would much rather be playing Pokemon games than like a Pal World or something too. But they got to be the ones who are kind of making that push now. They got to be the ones, you know. So I want to see them, you know. It's a completely different game. It is not a completely different game. That's the problem, is people keep on making that defense like it is. And yes, there are parts of Pal World that are very different. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove that one to a degree. So I agree that Pal World is very different. Could be a very different game, but there are a lot of things that are very similar. I think it just scratches the itch for a lot of Pokemon people, you know. Someone say Instinct got removed. No. no, they were saying some other things. Ron, don't worry about it, bud. Saying some fucking weird shit. I would have much rather than been removed for talking about instant coffee, but they were not. So no, I mean, it's definitely not exactly like Pokemon. I agree, but I think it's gonna push Pokemon to hopefully be a better Pokemon game. I'm just saying, it's never a bad thing. A little competition will help them make a better product. So, all right, let's keep going. I know this is getting more exciting. Yeah, let's jump into it here. Oh yeah, so Seafood Destiny 2 are headlining some March PS Plus games. 4 new games will be added to Sony Interactive Entertainment's PlayStation Plus. Just say Sony's PlayStation Plus lineup coming in March 5th. EA Sports' F1 23, Destiny 2's The Witch Queen, and Sifu. Oh, and Hello Neighbor 2 apparently. All 4 games will be available PlayStation Plus subscribers from March 5th to April 1st. Hey, have a good day, Ron. I'll talk to you later, dude. Love you, dude. Solid news for you. Always got some solid news. Woo 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 woo. But yeah, so I was like, okay, there's some good ones in there. I think I may have bought Sifu at some point, and I really wanted to play Sifu. I don't care about Destiny, or F1 or Hello Neighbor 2. Wants to kill off physical games more than they did already. Cool, I guess. How so, I guess? What? Which means definitely the best Destiny 2 expansion. Oh, really? Nice. I don't know anything about it. I barely got to play any Destiny. I know formerly Big Cozy Couch was doing a lot of Destiny, and that was the only times I ever played Destiny, was the times where I was trying to get to a point where I was like, I'll play with them, that'll be fun. And then I never was able to get to that point, and then never did. So it wasn't really for me, but I thought it would be a fun one to play as a couple of peoples, you know, couple of peoples. Do 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 do. Sorry, I'm just trying to grab something real quick here. Cool. Sorry. These services are ruining the practice of actually owning games. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's definitely like, I mean, listen, anytime you're gonna be able to get free games and stuff, like, I get it. Well, I say free, but that's not even true because it's not even free. But I think like Sony wants to try and maintain like having an online server, you know, being able to allow people to play games online, and they were trying to figure out how to make that profitable. And the best way to make that profitable is to charge people for it. The thing is, to charge people for it, they want to give you something for it. So then they were kind of doing the whole PlayStation Plus where you're getting free games. The problem is they were realizing, I could probably make more money if we give more games and stuff. Free with devs not getting the money. I'm sure devs get some of the money. I'm sure there's no way that PlayStation can distribute games and not give money to developers. I don't think that's a legal action. I'm sure devs get some cut of whatever. Probably a tiny bit. I mean, I'm not here to speculate on how much that without knowing. I'm never gonna speculate that, man. I have no idea. I'm sure that there's some devs who appreciate having that stuff because it gives them publicity, but get paid to be on the service. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Is like there's some publicity that goes along with being there, and I know that it's not always fun. Sketchy. That's fine, man. Yeah, I completely understand. I know you were saying like it's a joy to have the physical media, and I'm totally there with that. But a lot of devs are just trying to get their games out there, and then however they can do it, they do it. So I will say Sony's been really good about like at least not kind of just ditching their, like, if you choose stuff for PlayStation Plus, and this could all change, you know, tomorrow, later today. I doesn't. But if you choose something from your PlayStation Plus stuff to put it into your library and you don't download it, you can download it like forever down the line. I say that partially because of y'all remember PT, that game Kojima was working on, that was a Silent Hill game. I still downloaded that game on my PlayStation 3. I think it was 3. Yeah, 3 or 4, one of those. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, I still was able to download it, and that game is banned off of everything. Like, you can't get it again. But if you had it down, or you had it on your console, maybe I didn't re-download it, but if I had it on my console, they couldn't take it away from me. So there's definitely some things. Like I said, it's all about just perks, and part of one of the things I go through is trying to show you the perks of, if you're already paying for it, or Epic Games is giving away a free game like they are today. I like to make sure people know about that stuff, because if you can get a free game and get to play something, or get something for the money that you're paying already, it's worth knowing about. Not use the cloud. Listen, I'm all about not playing on the cloud. That whole thing is bogus to me. I'm not about that. Pretty sure 3. Yeah, we actually played all of PT on stream too. Well, almost all of it. We couldn't trigger the ending, but it was a cool game. I liked that game a lot. All right, let's keep on going. This one is a little less sad, actually. Remedy has finally taken back control of the Control series from 505 Games. PT is a dope war game. I know, I wish they would have been able to make their actual Silent Hills game, but unfortunately they never will. Remedy Entertainment has acquired full rights to the Control series from 505 Games. The developer said it is now in the position to make better long-term decisions of the Control franchise growth. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of Alan Wake or Control or anything like that, but I think it's just cool that they're gonna have the rights to their game, and they can kind of do whatever they want with it at that point, whether it's good or bad, but I'm just glad that something like that happens. Yeah, I agree. And so I think that this kind of was raising a kind of a similar issue where FromSoft doesn't own I went to post them and beat me by like 10 minutes. Best me in like 10 minutes. Oh yeah, listen, I was only finding stuff like on my breaks. So like on my lunch break and like my afternoon break was the only times I was looking for. That was the only times I was able to find stuff, man. They must have just been slightly ahead of all yours, man. But so sorry, FromSoft doesn't own Bloodborne. And I just saw, we were talking about it the other day about they're like, we would love to make another Bloodborne game or something, but they can't or something, because they don't actually own that property. So I'd like to see them get that back too, or get that in the first place, I guess, because I think Bloodborne is technically owned by Sony or something, because it was made in conjunction with Sony or something. I don't remember exactly. Didn't exclusively own Elden Ring until just recently. Oh, really? Damn. They need to be better about not just they need to make sure that they have like the rights to these games that they're making. Treating FromSoft dirty ain't a good choice. Is somebody treating them bad? Help pay for Bloodborne. Yeah, and I think that's why they don't. I think it's probably that neither one of them owns the rights straight out, so they can't do anything with it. So yeah, I would love to see them do something with Bloodborne, but yeah, it sounds like there's more that has to happen than just being like, yes, we would like to make it. We will consider our options carefully, knowing that Control is considered an attractive franchise by many partners. Is it? Condor and Control 2 have both progressed well in recent months, and we expect these projects to reach their next development stages during the first half of 2024. So they're talking about the next Control game. Okay. That's pretty interesting because, I mean, listen, I think Control is fine. I think the story in a lot of the Remedy Entertainment games are just all over the fucking place. But it's just I think that their games in general could be pretty fun and entertaining and stuff, but I'd be interested to see cinematic games. Yeah, they also have some good things. I remember when I was playing some of Control, there was definitely some times where they had some really cool ideas and they just never came together in a good way. Yeah, and the stories, I don't get their stories. However they're telling their stories, maybe that's the problem. It's just in the most confusing way. Our friend I'm in Limbo just finished Alan Wake 2, and after he was done, he's like, I liked it. I have no idea what happened though. And I was like, yeah, that's not great. And I know that's the same thing from FromSoft games, but FromSoft is like one of those ones where it's like, if you want to know the lore, you got to dig for it. Like, you can do those things, I guess. Like, I guess to me, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe I was gonna say maybe FromSoft games are a little more intensive with their gameplay and stuff. Intense with their gameplay, like, so maybe that's what makes them different, but they are kind of the same. Don't push lore onto you. Yeah, you definitely have to seek it out or whatever, but I feel like almost for the same thing, Remedy kind of is giving you a lot of lore. Maybe that's the difference then, that Remedy's giving you a lot of lore, but it doesn't make any fucking sense, or that they don't explain it to you in a way that makes sense. Because I don't think that, like, listen, I don't think I'm an idiot. I also just have a hard time understanding what the hell's going on in those games. But I feel like that's a thing for everybody. I think everybody who plays any of those games doesn't fucking get what the hell's going on in them. I think it's that. I don't think it's like a intelligence thing. I think it's just the way that they present their information. At least that's what it seems like to me. I don't know. But yeah, I like FromSoft's stuff. I like learning about their stuff because they make good information or good. They make good games with good story, and then there's enough information in there for you to kind of find those things, you know. So I just thought that was cool, though. I'm glad that they, you know, this is a company that's being able to get something back that they once had. Not that they had the rights to, but that they produced or whatever, and now they're gonna get the rights, you know, at this point. So that's cool. That mean gives them a lot of control. I did not even think about that. All right. Liam Neeson is apparently making a Naked Gun reboot. I had no idea. But it's moving forward and lands in a 2025 release date. I had no idea they were going to be rebooting Naked Gun. It seems like a bad idea. And with Liam Neeson, seems like a bad idea. Apparently it's happening. A Liam Neeson starring reboot of the Naked Gun franchise is back on track at Paramount, with the studio announcing a July 18th to 2025 release date today. Oh no, keep him away from my Naked Gun. Don't know what that is? Oh man, Gaster, you'll have to try and find those movies sometime. They are fucking hilarious. The Naked Gun movies, very good. They're comedies, but they're very, very wild. They're kind of dumb comedies, but in like the best way. Yeah. Also, what's happening, Vash? Welcome on in, dude. The reboot will be directed and executive produced by Lonely Island's Akiva Schaffer, I don't know who this is, who co-wrote the draft script with his Chippendales Rescue Rangers collaborator Dan Gregor and Doug Mann. The film is being produced by Family Guy director Seth MacFarlane and Erica Huggins, production company Fuzzy Door. Naked Gun and Airplane are classics. Yes, they are very good. I've seen Spaceballs. It's very much like Spaceballs, but not Star Wars. It's just general like cop movie antics in the very same way that Spaceballs is really weirdly goofy and shit. Ugh, shit. Sorry. I keep on yawning, and I'm surprised too because I've had a good little bit of coffee. Doctor Who, am I playing at the moment? Yeah, no problem. If you ever do get some time for Naked Gun, I think we would all recommend it. It's a good one. It's very, very goofy and weird, man. I will say that. Just be aware. it's a different. If you get in like 10 minutes and you don't find it that funny, I would say don't worry about it. I would say don't even keep going. Goofy vibes. Oh, you might really enjoy it then. It's one of those ones. It's just it's good. So if you're excited for a reboot of Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, please get the fuck out of my chat. I'm just kidding, guys, but also this is not gonna be good. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, let's keep on going. Nintendo is suing the makers of open source Switch emulator Yuzu. I don't know much about this. I just saw that it was getting reported on a lot. Pretty wild. Yeah, let's get into it. Nintendo is suing the makers of Yuzu, an open source Nintendo Switch emulator, according to a lawsuit filed in Rhode Island court on Monday. GameFile reporter Stefan Tutilo first reported the suit. Finally. Ooh, you were waiting for this one? I didn't even know anything about. I've never even heard of this thing before. So listen, I don't emulate a lot of things. So the 41-page lawsuit was filed against Tropic Haze, the company that makes Yuzu. Yuzu is a free emulator that was released in 2018, months after the Nintendo Switch originally launched. The same folks who made Citra, a Nintendo 3DS emulator, made this one. I've never heard of Citra. I've totally never used it. Definitely never used Citra. It's not my thing. Definitely never checked out the 3DS emulator Citra, and I definitely didn't play a full game of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on it. To be fair, if I did do any of those things, which I didn't, I do own a 3DS and a copy of the game. So if I would have done those things, that's I already own them, you know. So technically not pirating at that point, you know. But you know, I didn't do that, so don't worry about it, guys. Don't mind emulation on older stuff. Yeah, I kind of felt like I'm kind of feeling like there's like I feel that line a little bit as well. If you're emulating the Switch and the Switch is still a current console, that seems very interesting. Like there is definitely some room to pirate. Isn't the Switch old? Kind of, but it's like I look at like stuff like Citra specifically. Again, never used it. As like almost like an archive or something you can use to archive and everything. And I think that that's kind of important, those kinds of things where it's, you know, like the 3DS, like their game shop and everything closed down. There's like probably games in there that are you know, that are never going to be able to get played when that goes down. So I kind of understand like that as like an archival tool almost. So I kind of wonder if like the Switch is kind of like not obviously at that point yet, but I also don't mind if there's an emulator for it at some point. I don't know where I kind of fall on this yet. So Switch is still modern. There's no newer Nintendo systems yet. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't. That doesn't necessarily make it modern, but it also is just they're still making games for it. That's kind of what I think is kind of throwing me a little bit. I don't know. Basically, it's a piece of software that lets people play Nintendo Switch on PC, Linux, and Android devices. It also runs on the Steam Deck, apparently. Okay. Emulators aren't necessarily illegal, but pirating games to play them is. Exactly. So this is kind of what I'm kind of saying. So, but Nintendo said in its lawsuit that there is no legal way to use Yuzu. Nintendo argues that Yuzu's executive codes that defeat Nintendo's security measures, including decryption using an illegally obtained copy of prod.keys. In other words, without Yuzu's decryption of Nintendo's encryption, unauthorized copy of games would not be played on PCs or Android devices. Nintendo wrote in the lawsuit. Now the success of the Switch, when it comes out, the Switch is open to emulation. Okay, I see. All right, I kind of feel that too. Iced tea and coffee and still low brain. I'm definitely understanding that. Yeah, sir, I definitely get that. But yeah, I kind of feel like there is like a level of I feel like maybe my stance is if it's not a console where they're still making games for it, I'm kind of like less worried about it. But I think if you're still making games, like, then yeah, you're technically just pirating games at that point, and I'm not super interested in pirating games. Or if there's no other way to get those games, I feel like that's a tough one too. Again, not that this is what I'm saying I'm doing or going to be doing or anything like that, but it has become increasingly difficult to find Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I've been wanting to try and play that game pretty bad, and there's not much of a great way to do it. And I'm kind of a little bit worried, I just don't know what I'm going to be doing with it, because I'm trying to find like a Wii U to do it with, because I think you can do it with, track down a GameCube. I don't want to play it on GameCube. I want to play it on Wii U because they made an updated version on Wii U, an HD version. And I just it's really hard to find a Wii U, and people know that you only want to buy a Wii U for Wind Waker, so then they charging you a lot of extra money, which it's not worth that money. So just got home, got to make some coffee, no problem, Vash. Nintendo is to emulation that Metallica is to Napster. Damn, man, could be. What an interest. Not the comparison I thought I was gonna hear in the year of 2024, but good Christ, title, what a reference, my dude. What a reference. As to the alleged damages created by Yuzu, Nintendo pointed to the release of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom leaked almost 2 weeks earlier than the game's May 12th release date. The pirated version of the game spread quickly. Nintendo said it was downloaded more than 1 million times before Tears of the Kingdom's release date. People used Yuzu to play the game. Nintendo said more than 20% of the download links pointed people to Yuzu. An emulator making money? I don't think that they can make money. At least not in the way that would be normally. Like, I think they can get oh yeah, I see. Hold on. There's a thing later on about how they make money. And it's kind of what I was thinking. Though Yuzu doesn't give out pirated copy, Nintendo repeatedly said that most ROM sites point people towards Yuzu to play whatever games they've downloaded. Nintendo said in its expended significant resources to stop illegal copying, marketing, sales, and distribution of Nintendo Switch games. It says that Yuzu earns the team $30,000 per month on its Patreon for more than 7,000 patrons. So they make money through Patreon. Not really anything, Nintendo can do about that. And Nintendo said that the company has earned at least 50,000 in paid Yuzu downloads, which is probably some other, version of like whenever you download it, you can probably give them some kind of amount of money or whatever. You can choose to give them some money. Nintendo said that Yuzu's Patreon doubled its paid members in the period between May 1st and 12th when Tears of the Kingdom was released. I mean, this is a lot of like there's a lot of interesting things coming from Nintendo. Yeah, but like, I'm still not gonna listen. Even if I agree with not trying to pirate these games or whatever, I still am not gonna be like, Nintendo gets a full pass. It's more than that. Like Nintendo, maybe if you just sold your games to Steam, people wouldn't emulate. Man, maybe. Well, older stuff. Yeah, so I guess that was kind of our point, or kind of our thought. At least my thought is, if it's older, I feel like I'm okay with it. Kind of an archival kind of thing, And then the Switch stuff, kind of, I don't know. I'm a little worried about it. It's kind of weird. Don't mind emulation. I don't. Like I said, for the most part, not too much. But the Switch does kind of, I don't know, case by case. Yeah. Like how Sony does. So what does Sony do? I don't think I've ever seen what they end up doing. Is it just through their systems or whatever? Because I didn't think that many of their systems do emulation. But so we're reading the story, and Nintendo is like pointing out like when the emulators like Patreon had more people during this release of Tears of the Kingdom and all this stuff, and it seems a little weird, like they were kind of really keeping an eye on what was going on. And I get it, that's kind of their thing, they're supposed to be doing, but it's still a little weird. Backwards compatibility, that's the best way to do it. And they make a version for Steam, then people don't need to emulate, or they'll release a version for it that's easy to get on their current systems. And I think that's kind of the problem with Nintendo sometimes, is they don't always make their games that they have like on current gen games, even if it's just a port or whatever. I don't really care. I did actually bring this up when I was talking about all this, was I really wanted to play Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. They made an HD version for the Wii U, and it is really difficult to find because you got to get a Wii U and B, that game. So I definitely agree. I think that if they made it easier for people to just be able to buy the games they want to play, I think it's definitely worth helping stop some of that. Yeah, grab some food, friend. Thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully we'll see you a little later, and if not, have a great night, man. I like Last of Us Part 2. That's correct. Have to make so much reselling old games again on their new systems. Well, I wonder why. But that's why I'm wondering why Nintendo doesn't do more of that stuff, though. Like I said, why is there no Switch version of Wind Waker? Port a lot of stuff. I mean, I definitely get that. Thank you so much for the shout out for We Go Boom. And some people like it. I just think making things readily available, not making a remake, not making a remaster, not anything like that, just a straight port. You see what I'm saying? Not a remaster, not a remake, just a straight port. They did it early on with Switch ports. Are you talking about moving games over? Yeah, what do fans want? I understand what you're saying, Gaster. But I think that's more of like the remakes and stuff. And they're like, well, this game doesn't need a remake. I can still play it. But if you can't play it, like I'm saying, I cannot. There is not an easy way to go and play Wind Waker. I'm just saying, if I wanted to play it again, I have to track down all that stuff. Or Nintendo could just make it readily available. I'm just saying. Okay, sorry. Let's finish up these last two paragraphs of this. Nintendo is asking the court to shut down the emulator and for damages. Polygon has reached out to Nintendo and Tropic Haze for comment. That's okay. If they ain't selling it directly, yeah, again, but I would buy it directly from them. I would 100% buy these games directly from them if they offered them. And I think that's it's not my thing to say like go and pirate games or emulate games or whatever. That's all up to you guys or whatever, of course. But for me, I'm always like, if I cannot directly buy it from them, what am I supposed to do? And for me, I'm like, I guess I'm not playing it then. But for other people, they're like, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna figure it out. And if it wasn't, it would cost $150. Yeah, that's another rabbit hole. I agree. We agree. I think we're all kind of in a general idea of like, I don't know, like I want devs to be able to get paid for their stuff, and and the devs for like Zelda and stuff are all just like Nintendo. So I would happily pay them as long as they made their games available for their current system, and as of right now they do not. So whenever they do, I'll be grateful to hand my money over to them, but until they do, I will just sit here and silently judge them for not bringing Wind Waker. Let's move on from this gray area. But it's such good topics, man. It's such good conversation. I love talking about it though, because it's not, there's no clear answer. I love it. That's the best kind of conversations. You got to embrace being just a little bit, a little uncomfortable. It's good for you. But yeah, I think we've squeezed enough juice out of this bad boy. That's true. You right. You know what? You son of a gun. You're right. All right. So here's the other layoff announcement that kind of came up today. Star Citizen developer Cloud Imperium Games has confirmed layoffs as former staff hit out at relocation plan. Oof, this is kind of a weird one. All right. Ooh, hadn't seen this one. Ooh, this is the one I was talking about title. This is the last one I saw. So Star Citizen developer Cloud Imperium Games is the latest game company to cut staff, confirming a small number of positions were eliminated as part of a relocation plan for some former employees. Some former employees have criticized. CIG failed to specify the number of staff affected. Don't make me bring up Pinocchio again. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Space Sim Star Citizen is considered one of the most controversial projects in all of video games. Over the 12 years since its crowdfunding drive began, it's been called many things, including a scam by those who wonder whether it will ever properly launch. Its virtual spaceships, some of which cost hundreds of dollars, and are often the focus of criticism. At the time of this article's publication, Star Citizen has pulled in an eye-watering $667,489,262 from players. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I don't know much about this developing group, but they are definitely, Jesus Christ. I would feel like this is okay. So I'm gonna do the bad guy thing here. It's not as fun as I expected. So I was gonna see what that would be over 12 years. About what that they would average. About $55 million a year. That's a lot of money, actually. Never mind. I was gonna be like, well, maybe it's not that bad, but it's actually pretty bad. So never mind. They could definitely afford to keep these people on, and I don't care what they say. A small number of positions was eliminated. My ass. A terrible paradoxical question. All right, throw it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Throw it in there, Vesh. Let's talk about it, bro. Right after I talk about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake devs Saber Entertainment escapes Embracer and a $500 million deal. Guys, this is fucking huge. Somebody is finally getting away from Embracer. You know how Embracer is the shittiest company ever? I'm so kidding. I don't know anything about Embracer that much. I just know that they've been laying off an assload of people, and they're not a great company usually. Kind of, from what I understand. But Saber Interactive has gotten away with a $500 million deal. A lot of people are looking at Gearbox as being next. I have not heard anything set in stone, but I have heard that Gearbox is kind of looking at being the next deal to get out of there. Collecting that much money and never fully releasing a game. Yeah, and they probably never will. Were you here, Title, when I was talking about the game, the pack of ships that you could buy that was like a couple of thousands of dollars, like $100,000 or something? I don't understand. Star Citizen is weird. A good KOTOR remake. I hope so, Gaston. Embracer sucks and is useless to society. Beautiful. Love to see it. I don't know enough about them, but I will definitely trash them. I just thought I saw this and I was like, beautiful. This is the best news I've seen in a long time. I hope this doesn't lead to anything bad for Saber, but I think it's great. If you spend $50K. Oh yeah, that was one of the things too. Maybe this is the same thing, but there was like one where you could only buy this specific like ship pack if you had spent enough money already. So you had to spend that plus the additional whatever $100,000. And I was like, what? It was crazy. I got KOTOR on Switch already, but it's cool. Yeah. I'm always down for a good. If it's a good remake like that, and those KOTOR games are definitely worth bringing back. So, and doing them real nice, like. So I saw this and I was like excited, and I just wanted to show you guys. So, another kind of awesome one. Toys for Bob is going to be splitting from Activision. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't know who Toys for Bob was until I read on a little bit. So if you don't exactly know who this is just yet, let me read on a little here. Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot developer Toys for Bob will split from Activision to become a privately owned studio. That's right, guys. Toys for Bob gonna be their own studio. They ain't bankrupt. Toys for Bob? Is Toys for Bob supposed to be bankrupt? I didn't know that they were. They seem like a nice company, and they were just trying to get away from Activision. As for Bandicoots, hey, what's happening, Cyclo? Man, we tried to just dunk on Embracer and then a little bit of Activision too, because why not? Just dunk on them all. Why not? This opportunity allows us to return to our roots being small, nimble studio. That's cool though. That want to get out. Yeah, that's probably fair enough. I don't know enough about this. I thought there was going to be more information, but apparently it's just that they've announced that they are going to. Yeah, let them make weird little games. Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah, I feel like that's the whole thing, right? As a game company, you should be able to make whatever weird little games you want to make on your own terms. Why not? And maybe we'll get some really good weird games from them. I don't know enough about Toys from Bob. I just saw the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which looked like a pretty good remake, and then the Crash Bandicoot stuff, which was pretty cool. So I'm cool. I'm good. I'm there for it. All right, and then second to last, because I love dunking on EA. Let's go back to EA and let's just absolutely dunk on them, guys. EA Sports WRC is crashing on startup today, February 29th, because 2024 is a leap year. Did you guys know that 2024 is leap year and today is leap year day, or leap day, or whatever you call it, I guess? And so apparently some of EA's games are not working because of this. So EA has joined Square Enix in failing to see the leap year coming, as just like theater rhythm Final Fantasy on Nintendo Switch, EA Sports WRC isn't working because it's February 29th. Skylanders and then died and then made some good remakes. Skylanders was huge for them then. Happy leap year to people all day. That's pretty cool, man. Fans of the Rally Racer took to social media to complain about the game crashing upon launch today. EA soon published a statement explaining it was looking into it. So they said they went in to look into it, and here was what they told you to do. Guidance for PlayStation players. On your console, go to settings, system, date and time, set date and time, set manually. You need to then change the date to March 1st, 2024. Once the change has been done, the game should function normally. That's right. As soon as you want, you have to change the date. They literally cannot figure out how to make the game work on today's date. So they were like, you have to change the date manually, guys. That's what you got to do. Oh my god. What fucking idiots. I was gonna say I hate EA, but I don't hate EA. I like dunking on them. Huge for 3 games, then it died off. It's all right. I was trying to watch the new Aquaman, but I couldn't get into it. Hey, Casper, what's happening, buddy? I completely understand that. One of our systems at work wasn't working correctly because the vendor didn't update the year to 2024. Missed out on income for all of January until it was caught. Holy shit. Did you go in and manually change the date to March 1st, 2024? God, I'm sorry. I see this stuff and I have to laugh. I like dunking on EA a little bit. All right, last one I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys is a trailer for Aerial Knights Never Yield. So I believe this is free on Epic this week because it is Thursday, and Epic Games gives away free game every Thursday. I'm just gonna make sure that this is the one that is this is the one. The game looks pretty interesting, and I like to show these off, and I was like, this is actually one that's actually interesting. I'll probably pick up. How do you not account for that? Yeah. I don't understand how that works. There's some stuff like that happens that I'm like, how did this go missed for so long too? Who knows? But yeah, let's take a look at this. This is, like I said, it's called Aerial Knights Never Yield. And it does look pretty. It looks interesting.
I keep it going like, I keep it moving like, on like, I keep it going, they ain't bringing me down. I keep on flowing like I live in it now. Like a river, I be driven in style. I'm running wild now. I'm on the
So it looks like it's like a runner kind of game with some like parkour type things. Even when I got it, I see the vision, ain't no limit to where I can take it. If you're thinking otherwise, then you're mistaken. Every barrier I'm breaking, you are now in the midst of a legend in the making. And that's a fact, got it like that. One time for your mind, bring it right back. Running the game, and I'm on the right track. I'm running the game, and I'm on the right track. Did he just run past the guy aiming at his face? I thought he jumped over him, actually. To be honest, I thought he jumped over him. I mean, hard to tell, man. I can dig it. I thought it looked pretty cool. And if you have a, you know, a PC, oh shit, if you have a PC, Epic Game Store, free to download, free to go over and get that game. I think it's gonna be worth getting. I'm actually gonna snag her up right now while I'm here. Whew. But yeah, I think it's every so often they have these games that I think are actually pretty interesting. And I thought this one was pretty cool. Like I said, because it's Thursday, I always like to make sure I show these off because this is the epitome of free games. You don't even have to buy anything to do it. So, yeah, I guess that's it. That's gonna do it for the news. We'll hang out for just a little bit. I gotta find out what time I need to wrap up, but I will we'll wrap it up for the news. We'll hang out for just a little bit, and then I'm gonna get up on out of here. But thanks guys so much for coming out for the news, and I'll see y'all on the other side.